Now, the economic outlook for 2026 is being reshaped to the downside by global risks, yes, but even more so by governance failures right here at home. Corruption probes and spending cuts, both in government and across the private sector, are now dragging down growth expectations and adding new risks for businesses and investors. To help us assess how deep the economic damage could run, we're joined by Emmanuel Leyco, the Chief Economist of Credit Rating and Investor Services Philippines and Senior Fellow at the Center for People Empowerment in Governance. Hi, Mr. Leyco. Good morning, and thank you for being here with us.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Okay, Mr. Leyco, we've already slowed. The economy has slowed. GDP print in the fourth quarter was down to 4%, well below everyone's expectations, and lower the reduced expectations of our government for the full year. The lower band was at 5.5%. It doesn't look like we're going to be hitting that. And with all of these corruption probes, how much more growth is at risk?
Well, I think we have compromised already about 20% of the potential growth that we were expecting. Considering that the expected growth rate for this year was already a reduced target, that is quite a big loss to the economy. It's not exactly encouraging for many.
It's hard to do business in an environment where 20% of the growth is going to be shaved off. That's a good 1 to 2% of the actual GDP figure. How would you describe the state of the economy today, sir?
Well, we're kind of shaky at this time. I think I'd like to be optimistic, but there's not much for me to go to and support that kind of optimism. Right now, global watchers of the Philippine economy are projecting a reduced growth rate, definitely not quite far from what we were expecting that we will take after the pandemic.
Yeah, the slowdown. Tell us, sir, where is the slowdown most pronounced? I mean, we're seeing it in our major drivers. We're seeing it in consumer spending. We're seeing it in public spending, which is a major driver of growth. Where are you seeing this drop in growth the most, sir?
Well, public spending definitely slowed down the economy. It represented about 20-30% of our GDP. But the consumer spending represents a lot bigger of our GDP. So where do we see that? People are not spending as much. We look at breakdown of consumer spending. They slow down on food. They slow down on house spending. They slow down on a number of things that normally would have picked up around this time.
Yeah.
But this is December, so people are, I think, gearing up to
tighten
spend
their belts.
more. Yeah, and
it's supposed to be. This is the time where we're supposed to spend more, and people are still trying to do that. But looking into 2026, what's hard is that businesses are also slowing down their forecasts, their capex plans, and they're not launching new projects. And how worrisome is that for you, sir?
That's quite worrisome. That's quite disturbing. That means that for the common people, that could mean reduced opportunities to work, reduced purchasing power, and therefore they will be the ones to suffer from this slowdown.
Yeah, I want to talk about some hard numbers. The 6.8 trillion peso budget. What are the red flags there, sir? The Senate says that it's corrected errors, where critics are saying that this budget raises more uncertainty. What about this budget is problematic to you, sir?
Well, they still have components that are considered allocable, meaning discretionary, based on some unknown formula. They're considering number of people, population, land area. It's similar to the LGU internal revenue allotment, but definitely I think that will be more whimsical on the part of whoever is making a decision on
that's the problem. We've got the allocable and we've got the non-allocable funds, and the allocable funds, that's what's discretionary, and corruption is a human problem, and the discretion of individuals, that's where we fall. What is the solution to this, sir?
You know, from the budgeting process point of view, budget items are supposed to be supported by feasibility studies, financial financial, economic, technical, and so forth. But right now, the discretion of legislators, discretion of public officials are becoming to be the rule in making a decision on which projects are supposed to be included in our budget. And that is the major problem, that's the major weakness in this budget process. Now, formulation, preparation of the budget is already problematic. It becomes even more problematic when the execution comes in. Because the lack of transparency, accountability gives way to people who are trying to hide something.
Drilling down to that, in the proposed 2026 budget, 52 billion pesos is going to go to the DPWH. Given the systemic corruption, what are the economic risks of putting 52 billion pesos into an agency that is still under investigation?
Well, to me, that sounds like throwing good money after bad. So I'm totally against that. I think before they start putting money into DPWH projects, they will have to straighten up the agency.
In the meantime, sir, we have to go a little quicker. We're tight on time. Let's talk about the National Debt Service in 2026. 2 trillion pesos, 30% of the national budget. It's a growing debt burden. How heavy is this risk? I mean, interest and principal, these are that we're going to be paying provisions from the previous administration from the pandemic. They're maturing in 2026. Are you worried about the growing debt burden and how heavy is the risk to the economy?
Well, first, borrowing is not bad. What becomes terrible is that if the budget or if the money was put to bad use or if it was stolen. Now, 2 trillion going to debt service, that is terrible for the economy. That means it's only paying for previous programs. It's not going to be put into productive use during this year. So that's worrisome.
Very worrisome. Sir, I wanted to ask you, the president blew the whistle on this massive corruption issue, but how would you rate his follow-through? It's been 4 months and 10 days since the SONA on July 28. Has the action been serious enough?
The process or that issue should not have been taken as business as usual. You don't make a decision or you don't make a declaration and then follow through with just an organization or establishment of a committee that up to now people are wanting to see transparency and accountability. They said they will live stream, but then when
may
resource
executive
persons
sessions, may executive sessions, hindi rin natin nakikita. So sir, a rate 1 to 10, the president's follow-through after having blown the whistle. 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. How would you rate this administration's response?
2 or 3.
2 or 3 out of 10. Okay, I also wanted to ask you, Budget Secretary Amena Pangandaman resigned after the corruption controversy. How culpable should she be as the leader of the DBM in this situation?
I thought that was a long overdue resignation. Once she said, or once she made the declaration that the mandate of the DBM was only to consolidate, I think she misread the mandate of the department that she was supposed to be leading. Department of Budget and Management was supposed to not only to consolidate. They were supposed to be gatekeepers.
Of the inflows and the outflows.
Exactly. And they were supposed to align the budget with the medium-term national program. If they see it as not aligned, they should have blew the whistle right there and there. So I think a lot of culpability rests on the DBM.
Okay. All right. Everything said. What's your outlook for 2026 for the Philippine economy?
I don't want to be the gloom declarant.
But you also have to be real.
But realistically, we don't see any bright lining in the horizon at the moment. I think the government will have to do a lot more. Put people, bring people to justice, those who were culpable, those who stole money, make sure that they were taken to justice. Prosecute, recover, and and make sure that they never return to public service.
All right, top economist Emmanuel Leyco, thank you so much for sharing your insights on Business 360 with us, sir.
Thank you for having me.